Welcome to Martini Time. Blackstone, Virginia, the center of the world, but then you too are the center of the world. So I entitled this talk, Your Declaration of Independence. Let's talk about your declaration. I know we all think, 4th of July, we think objectively about America as an object, and the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution are objective celebrations, but I always celebrate the subjective. So, the subjective is your center. So when I say, I'm at the center of the world, but you too are at the center of the world, that is subjective. You see, I'm not speaking to you as an object, I'm speaking to you as a subject. And I'm the subject. So we're all one subject. But the objective is many. So we're many objectively, but subjectively we are one. So what is the Declaration of Independence? Your declaration. Well, it is a declaration of freedom from the objective. Now let me explain. Historically, the Declaration is freedom from the King of England. The American colony says, we will not be defined by you. We will not be created by you. We want to create ourselves. I am going, now speaking as an I, not a many, but an I am going to create myself. I am America and I'm going to create myself. I declare the freedom to do that. I declare the freedom to define myself. I declare the freedom to be free from being objectified by you. I declare my freedom to be independent from definitions by external authorities. You see, that's what the Declaration is. It is the King's Speech. Did you see that movie? I love that movie. It's about the King of England who couldn't speak. Stuttered. Blah, 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 blah. So he found his voice. So he found his word with a capital W. The Word of God is your word, is your speech, your voice that declares its independence from being objectified and defined and pinned on a wall and named. So really, it's not the freedom to give myself a new name, it's the freedom to constantly create myself. See, a lot of the problems is, well, you want to create your own name, and then you're conditioned by that. It's like an artist who creates himself as or like Robin Williams. Maybe this is why he killed himself. He created himself as a spontaneous humorist. So when the light came on, perform, Robin, dance, Robin. So he created himself as that, and then he was trapped in it. Maybe Anthony Bourdain killed himself because he created himself. He named himself, and then he was trapped in it. He couldn't get out. So if you name yourself, you're eventually going to be trapped in it because the conditions are always going to change. Roseanne, she created herself as an outrageous comedian. Times changed, and she went outrageous just one thing too far, you see. She was trapped by her name. She was destroyed by the name she created because she couldn't get out of it. She had to keep repeating it. So this Declaration of Independence doesn't mean creating a new name. Defining yourself doesn't mean defining yourself at all. It means that you're liberated from defining yourself so that you're constantly creating yourself, which means that you're constantly aligned with changing conditions. If you go outside, you're in alignment with outside. If you're inside, you're in a cat. You put the cat outside, and the cat is in alignment with being outside. You put the cat in, and the cat's in alignment with being inside. It doesn't see itself as being out of sync with the inside, and the cat is not out of sync with the outside because it's an inside cat or an outside. You see what I mean? Nature is always interrelated and changing. So wherever you are, you have to be able to get in alignment with those conditions. If you can't get in alignment with those conditions, it's because you created yourself and you're stuck in your name. My father created it, named himself a captain of the U.S. Navy. Well, a commander. He never got to be captain. He was a naval officer. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Mr. Conley. Yes, sir, Captain. But he couldn't, he named himself, but he was trapped in that. He couldn't be human. He couldn't be a living, he was a role at home, and when he got out of the Navy, he couldn't adapt. Nobody saluted him. So he was depressed and angry. He couldn't be a captain in civilian life. He was trapped in his name. So the Declaration of Independence is really being free from the name that other people name you and the name you name yourself as. So the Declaration of Independence is free from the name, which is the known. You're free from the known and no longer trapped by the past, by your karma, by your habits, by the conditions. You're no longer trapped by your expectations of comfort. You're no longer trapped by your your politics, by your religion. I was talking to a minister today, an ex-minister who left the church, and I said, what's life like after the church? And he says, it's very free. I'm free from having to put God in a box. I'm free from having to put God in a box. I thought that was great. Maybe I paraphrased it a little bit. But that's the idea. If you define God, well, you've just named God. And if you name God, you've named yourself. And you're trapped in that. God's not in there. God's the unnameable, the unknown, the mystery. So if you want to get in relationship with mystery, with wonder, with creativity, with compassion, you have to give up the name. You have to declare your independence. You have to declare. That is a Zen Satori. That is the lion's roar of the Buddha. That is the resurrection of Jesus. That is the Moses going through the Red Sea. All the myths and the religions are full of it. The lion's roar. The Declaration of Independence. Let's celebrate that today. Thanks for dropping in. Okay.